Hello and good Wednesday night to you. I'm Hugh Keeton here in the WLOX Digital Desk. We hope you're having a great night and thanks for joining us. You can always be sure to catch us on the WLOX digital channels. Those are on WLOX.com and the WLOX News app, and also the apps you might have for your smart TVs. And the WLOX app is available on the Roku app as well as the Fire Stick. So a lot of different ways you can get us here at WLOX, and we will break into the digital programming and bring you these digital desk updates fairly frequently, as well as breaking news developments that might be happening across South Mississippi. First of all, taking a look at our forecast, take a look at this. This is the conditions right now in Biloxi, still 82 degrees. It's 9 o'clock at night and still pretty warm out there. That is a pretty good indication that yes, summer is here. Still 82 degrees at this time of night, and it was cloudy for most of the day, but it's still, the temperature is really heated up. Now, looking ahead at our forecast for your Thursday, it's going to be warm once again. Looking out at the radar around South Mississippi, despite the cloud cover, there is no precipitation on the radar right now. And looking ahead at your 7-day forecast and your forecast for Thursday, 89 for the high, and it's going to feel hot out there. So if you're not used to the heat, just be prepared. Tomorrow it's going to be intense for you, as it looks like we are full on in summertime now. Chance of rain on Friday, and then the weekend looking pretty good as we are looking ahead to Mother's Day. All right, now let's check and see what's going on around South Mississippi tonight and around our region. Check this out. This is really something that is out of the ordinary. Of course, we live right here on the water, and we expect to see the wildlife in the water, all types of different fish species, but this is one we're not used to seeing. Take a look here as I'm going to pull up the video for you. This is a rarely seen sight here in South Mississippi, and it is courtesy of the University of South Alabama. It's coming closer to you, and yes, that is a great white shark. It was sighted off the Alabama coast. This is video of an 8-foot shark captured by the University of South Alabama. Great white sharks can live more than 50 years, and you see the size of that shark in the water. That is just really incredible. And based on the size right there, researchers believe this shark is about 15 years old. They say she won't reach maturity until at least 30. So a lot of growing still to do for that shark. Scientists say white sharks have been reported from other areas in the Gulf of Mexico, usually in deeper, cooler waters there. So this was not far off the coast of Alabama. So that's a reminder, if you're in the water, you never know what you might see out there. Just that is incredible. And we're going to have a reaction tonight during the 10 o'clock news. We're going to be hearing from some scientists who are dealing with this shark and get their perspective. You can hear that tonight at 10 on WLOX News Now. Also, hey, we all know about Cruising the Coast and what a spectacular event it is every fall. And now it's getting some national recognition as Cruising the Coast gets a big honor here recently, as we're taking a look at all those classic cars you can usually find around the 1st of October here across the Mississippi coast. And Cruising the Coast has now been voted the best car event in the country. The event came out on top of the USA Today 10 Best Reader's Choice Awards for 2024. A total of 20 car events were nominated. Organizers say the award is a testament to all the hard work over the years. Cruising the Coast first event was back in 1996 with 374 vehicles participating. The event last year broke records with more than 10,000 registered vehicles from 45 states, Canada, England, and Germany. This year's event already has more than 4,000 registered vehicles from 43 states and Canada. And yes, Cruising the Coast is named the USA Today 10 Best Reader's Choice Awards for 2024. First place award there for Cruising the Coast. And anytime you want to follow the news developments across South Mississippi, be sure to check out WLOX.com. We always are following the top stories of the day across the area and also in the WLOX News app. And today our story that we covered was in Pascagoula, and you can read more about this on WLOX.com. The police department there in Pascagoula looking to utilize the city's new text message alert system. So that's a way designed to let you know anytime something is happening there in the city. So if you live in Pascagoula, you'll want to check out that story for sure. Now, it is also Hurricane Preparedness Week here in South Mississippi, and this is a time leading up to hurricane season for you to get ready because we never really know when a storm might hit. So this is the time to get ready, and with some tips on how you need to be getting ready. The Emergency Management Director from Harrison County joined us for the 4 o'clock show earlier today and talked with Karen Abernathy. And here is that interview on the 4 o'clock show talking about what you need to do to get ready for hurricane season before the storm starts.
Well, we are less than a month from the beginning of hurricane season, and officials want you to start preparing now during this Hurricane Preparedness Week. Of course, joining us today, Harrison County Emergency Management Director Matt Stratton and Valerie DeMattis, who's the PIO for Harrison County Board of Supervisors. And it's great to have both of you on the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, good to have you here. And of course, Matt, we don't ever want to think about hurricane season, but it comes along every year and it lasts a long time, and we just hope for the best, but we have to prepare for the worst.
That's right. It is National Hurricane Preparedness Week this week, and we want to make sure people are aware of some changes for this hurricane season.
Yeah, well, what are some of the highlights then as far as changes?
Well, one of the big ones for us this year is we have an update to our hurricane evacuation zones, and so we now have 3 zones. Zones A, B, and C, and we really want folks to take a look at these new zones and make sure they know what their new zone is.
Yeah, that's really important. And Valerie, of course, we've all been through hurricane season before and know how critical that is to really know your area. And know, I mean, we're looking at a map right now. You really need to know what your potential is so that you know what your risk is.
Exactly. And one of the great things is you can go on our website and plug in your address, and it will tell you what zone you're in. So the citizens of Harrison County can do that today.
Yeah, that's easy. And people
prepare.
who haven't been through this before and aren't familiar with it, they may not realize the significance of it. So that's what we're trying to get across to people today. It's important to have a supply kit. I mean, and 72 hours is generally the length of time you need to prepare to be on your own in case you get stranded and emergency workers can't get to you. So you need to have things like your medicine supply. That's very important if you need medicines. And what are some other things?
That's right. We do recommend at least 3 days worth of supplies for every member of the household. And when it comes to medication, we recommend 2 weeks supply for that. And you know, this is the time now to prepare, to gather your emergency supplies, make sure you have them ready so that they can get you through while stores and restaurants could be closed till we can get those open again.
And you mentioned some changes. Are there any surprises with that as far as the evacuation areas?
No, there's no surprises, but we went through a multi-year study with our partners at the federal level, at the state level, and these zones are a result of that study, taking a look at the dangers from storm surge. That's really what the evacuation zones are geared for, is to get people out of harm's way from storm surge that could be life-threatening.
And I know, Valerie, another item you all wanted to talk about was the need for volunteers in evacuation shelters, because if people do have to evacuate, they often rely on the shelters.
Yeah, we are looking for volunteers for the evacuation shelters to come and help out. So we've got the number right there on the screen to give us a call. We'd love to have you come and volunteer and help us out.
Yeah, that's important too. And how are you feeling about things this year, Matt? Are you a little worried?
Well,
always worried when we're heading into
the early predictions are it's going to be a very active season, and so we never know when our storm is going to loom on the horizon. But this is the time to prepare now, when we're under the blue sky days, and use this time wisely to your advantage.
That's right. Yeah, start now, and of course, hurricane season starts in less than a month. So. Yeah. Need to be prepared. Thank you so much, Matt and Valerie, for joining us today.
Thank you.
That was Karen Abernathy interviewing Harrison County officials, talking about Hurricane Preparedness Week and what you need to do now to get ready for a potential storm. And now we have a special guest visitor here in the WLOX digital desk tonight. It is sports anchor Matt DeGregorio. Matt, how you doing?
Hugh, I like being called a visitor. That's kind of nice.
Okay.
Fun.
Well, you can be a permanent visitor here on the digital desk
Oh,
if you'd
yeah.
like. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Okay, so the reason you're here tonight, it is an exciting time for high school sports here in the Mississippi Gulf Coast as it's spring sports playoff season. Yeah. Softball teams and baseball teams across South Mississippi getting ready for the next round of the high school baseball and softball playoffs. And we have some great teams here still alive.
Yeah, South State, right? We call it Med Championship season, Hugh, and we're into championship season, especially at the local level. Softball-wise, we'll start out with, because that's where we have the most teams still remaining in the coast. Last year was baseball, where we dominated down here in the 6 coastal counties. This year, it's softball, and you can see on your screen right now, there is a handful of teams still alive, including 2 all-coast matchups, Van Cleve and East Central in 5A, Hancock and George County in 6A. But looking at the 3A right now, St. Patrick facing a very difficult Weston team who only has 4 losses this season. St. Patrick obviously is going in as the underdogs here, but you never know. St. Patrick, the Irish, they can try and get the job done. Looking at 4A, Poplarville and Bay High were battling for that final spot in the 4A South title game. They're taking on Purvis, also going to be a difficult matchup for the Hornets, who have played less games than many this season. Now taking a look at the all-coast matchups. 5A is very intriguing. Van Cleve and East Central. These 2 teams just met in baseball on the other side. Van Cleve comes into this of a huge win over South Jones in that series. It took 3 games to take down South Jones, and Van Cleve was able to get the job done there. They're taking on the Hornets for the right to go to the state championship up in Hattiesburg. Now, both these sides come in really pretty solid on the season. East Central comes in at 23-4 on the season. Van Cleve right there neck and neck at 17-8. Both these teams, of course, very familiar being in the same region in 5A. So both those sides will go and go to battle starting tomorrow on Thursday. Moving our attention to the other all-coast matchup, that's 6A, where it's going to be Hancock softball, who comes in at 23-1 versus George County at 23-5. I think this is the marquee matchup that everyone's looking at here. Hancock had some of the best players in actually the state playing softball, and I think they kind of got a little bit screwed out of what would have been the players of the year there. They had 2 or 3 players at Hancock who could have been the 6A softball players of the year. George County, on the other end, they're just a complete team. Their roster really solid in the pitching end. Defense has been something spectacular. I've seen them make numerous diving stops this season. Very proud of that defense are the Rebels up there. And then in 7A, game 1 was today between Northwest Rankin and Ocean Springs. Northwest Rankin took it to the Lady Greyhounds. They won 11-2 tonight. That was a bit of a tough one there for OS up in the Jackson area. We'll have highlights of that game tonight at 10 p.m. Now taking a look at baseball, Hugh.
All right, so some great opportunities there for our softball teams, but unfortunately for Ocean Springs losing tonight. But yeah. They're not out of it. Still an opportunity to come back.
Not out of it yet. I mean, yeah, they'll play again tomorrow, and then they'll go again in 2 days' time on Saturday to see if they can force a game 3 tomorrow. And if they do, Saturday back up at Northwest Rankin.
Okay, and you are planning to be at some of these games coming up tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. So, tomorrow we'll have the East Central game for you up in Hurley, and then we'll head up to George County and get Hancock and GC. So we'll get 2 all-coast matchups for you guys tomorrow night.
Okay, and now let's move on. We were talking about baseball, and we've got traditionally the coast is just such a strong area for high school baseball.
Yeah, and this year's a little bit different, Hugh. There's a lot of teams. South Jones one in particular, but we'll go in order for the sake of everyone's sanity at home for the graphics, right? In 1A, you have Resurrection, the back-to-back defending state title winners. They've got to be the favorite right now in 1A baseball. 23-4, however, it did take them 3 games to beat Ethel last time out, so they did stumble a bit. But in the first round of the 1A state titles, or the 1A championships, Hugh, first round for Resurrection, they won the first game. They put up 21 runs, and they put up 15 just a couple hours later. This team is a juggernaut still, so they're going for a three-peat there in 1A. In 5A, Van Cleve defeated the back-to-back state title winners in East Central. They have their hands full with South Jones, and they did have their hands full with the Hornets last round. And you see these two going head-to-head there on your screen. And it took a lot. Tyler West was a key on the bump. They also have Hunter Harper. Their first 5 in order for Van Cleve are all going to go play collegiate baseball. 4 of them have already signed. A 5th one, Hunter Harper, will sign somewhere next year. He's only a junior. So when you have 5 year 9 starters who are going to go play either junior college baseball or collegiate baseball right now off the bat as freshmen next year, you got something brewing. However, South Jones is special. They hit the long ball really well. See Leighton Etter, though. Van Cleve has the ability. It's going to be that's one that I see going 3 games. Those two teams pretty solid both ends. Van Cleve, they're definitely going to want to get the job done there in game 1. Now to the lone all-coast matchup. Last year there was a slew of all-coast matchups. This year there's only one in baseball, and it's Pearl River Central, who has historically been a juggernaut down here, taking on George County, who has had themselves a heck of a season. George County coming in at 26-4 on the year. PRC 24-7. I saw PRC earlier this year against Biloxi, and PRC was lights out on that diamond. It did end up being one of their losses. They fell apart late, but early on it was all PRC in that one. So it is. PRC can play up with the competition. George County has been able to play with everyone, not just in the state, but across the South region. They had a really, really good battle at the beach clash where they went and played teams from Alabama, teams from Texas, Tennessee, and got the job done there as well. So it'll be really a good matchup there. So you're guaranteed one team right now. I would guess that Van Cleve and Resurrection do really have good chances to get up there. So you could potentially have 3 teams. Last year in the baseball state titles, we had 4 teams, including the 7A. Gulfport was there. 3A with St. Stanislaus, and then you had Resurrection and East Central, who both caught the W's.
All right, Matt, what a great breakdown of these games that we have coming up over the next several days. Exciting time. And you caught my attention with Van Cleve. I want to check out Van Cleve and all of these potential collegiate players that they have.
So you got a bunch of guys. If you remember Hunter Parker, you have Hunter Harper and Hunter Parker. Hunter Harper is the lone junior in that. He'll be the lone lefty that you'll see. He'll go game 1 for Van Cleve. As for the other guys there, Tyler West, you saw him pitching. He'll be the game 2 starter. He's going to go play junior college baseball. 2 of them are actually going to go to Mississippi Gulf Coast. You have Hunter Parker, the quarterback for Van Cleve. Also, he's a little bit banged up right now, but he will play shortstop for them. He's going to go play junior college baseball as well. And then Leighton Etter, you saw him hit a home run there. He's also going to go play JUCO baseball. There's a bunch of them there, Hugh, that are going to be pretty astounding baseball players. And Van Cleve, I mean, everyone knows Carson Pato at USM, one of the top players in the Sun Belt right now. Van Cleve has a history of producing really good athletes, especially in the Diamond.
Yes, they do. It's good to see. Now we have the softball state championships coming up next weekend, and then the baseball championships 2 weeks on Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, so you get softball up at Hattiesburg, and then from there you'll go to baseball in Jackson. Hattiesburg, we're going to have a bunch of coast teams. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you're guaranteed 2, maybe 3 right now. I would say there's a chance that we have 4 up there. Ocean Springs, obviously, has dug themselves a bit of a hole, but listen, you saw it last series for them against Petal. They went up early. Petal fought back with a dominant win in game 2, and then in game 3, OS came back. So if OS can flip the script and win the last 2, they'll be obviously off to Hattiesburg there. You just never know. When you're playing on the Diamond, anything can happen. You can lose that team 11-2 and go beat them 13-1 the next game. It just happens like that, especially at the high school level. You get the disparity or the discrepancies in arms, so you have the different baseball-wise, I guess. But softball, the bats for Ocean Springs weren't there tonight, but you never know. They could turn around, come home, you get a little home cooking, and you get something going.
Okay, like it. Well, that was a lot of fun, and best of luck to all of these teams across South Mississippi over the next couple of days, and maybe the Bruins will come back for you.
Yeah, hopefully. They're down 6-1 right now. We'll see.
Okay, all right. But just the first game. So
game 2, actually. We won game 1.
Okay, so
game 2.
Right. Still in pretty good shape.
Still pretty good shape. Tied 1-1. I'll be at game 5.
Oh, wow, okay.
So we needed the Bruins to lose.
Maybe you could call in on the digital desk live from the hockey playoffs.
Give a call in from live from hockey, Hey, one of the lone Louisiana-born hockey players actually playing for the Boston Bruins right now.
Okay, is that right? Okay, all right.
Mason Lorai.
Okay, you can catch up with him for us. That'd be great. Okay, all right. Matt DiGregorio, thanks for joining us here on the WLOX digital desk, and we always enjoy visiting with Matt here. And anytime you're looking for something to do here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, always check out GulfCoastWeekend.com. It is a busy weekend ahead here with lots of events happening. It's really feeling like summer now. You saw the temperatures. We were well up into the 80s and expected to be close to 90 over the next couple of days. So if you're looking to get outside and something to do, check out the calendar on GulfCoastWeekend.com, and you can just look at the calendar. We'll look ahead to this Saturday, May 11th. It is Mother's Day weekend, and you might want to treat mom to just a day out at one of these events. A lot going on. You see there at there's a Mother's Day market going on in Gulfport. You can read more about that on GulfCoastWeekend.com. And we thank you for joining us here on the WLOX Digital Desk, as always. And hey, if you know anybody that has a child playing on some of those high school baseball or softball teams, let them know that, hey, we had an in-depth breakdown of the playoff games. They'll want to see it. So just pass that along to some of the people that you might know in those communities that we were talking about: George County, Van Cleve, Pearl River Central, and some others, also Resurrection Baseball in the state playoffs as well. So best of luck to all of those teams, and we'll keep you updated as it continues. So that is where things stand right now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Hugh Keeton, live in the WLOX Digital Desk.